based on their skill set and based on their area, or based on the country. Based on the country, they would like to go for group. Now, client says that the skill set is a LOV, list of values. Country also is a LOV, list of values. Skill set, I would like to have Oracle and SAP, Microsoft, Google. Country, I would like to have India, United States, and United Kingdom. The advantage with flux field is you will have security in key flux field. How the security will be implemented in key flux field. Of course, this key flux field is mainly security. If we talk about the flux fields, you take any flux field, the is capture the information only. But in key flux field, we are going to capture the information in two formats. One is in code format, another one is in description format. In two different formats, you are capturing the information. What is the purpose of this? Is maintain the security for your information as well as for reporting point of view. For reporting point of view, it will be used. Yes. So whatever the information we are entering in key flux field, it stores in two formats. One is in code, another one is in description. The code has to be given by the client. Client says that I want this code, and for that corresponding description, nothing but a meaning is also supposed to provide the client. Okay. For example, you might have seen your credit card number is 16-digit credit card number, right? You have a 16-digit credit card number. From the customer point of view, it's a 16-digit. It's in just numbers, 16 numbers we have. Customer cannot understand exactly the meaning of this codes or numbers. But the bank will have the information. First 4 digits represents country. Next 4 digits represents branch. Next 4 digits or maybe next 8 digits represents the actual card number. Actual card number. Just giving an example. Okay. So internally, the bank will have a meaning for all these codes, whatever they are displaying on the top of the product. For example, we may purchase some laptop. It will be a product key like this. Okay. After purchasing this product, maybe after 1 year, we are trying to, we are using this laptop and we got some issue and we'll call to call center and says that I purchased your company laptop 1 year back and I'm facing this issue, I have a warranty. Then they'll just say that, okay, tell me, can you please tell me the product key, which is displayed on the back side of this particular laptop? Or maybe you might have purchased at the time of purchasing in the invoice page, this number will be printed. Can you tell me that number? Because why they required is this code is having some specific meaning for easy identification. Okay. So here the requirement is very simple and clear. Client want to provide the information to the public, but they should not understand why they are giving that information to the public for easy tracking purpose. Okay. So that's the reason the client wants to maintain the information in two formats. One is in code, another one is in description. Whenever they want hide the information, they'll put it on codes. When they want to detailed information, they'll put it on description. It's up to them whether they want in codes or description. That's the advantage of key flux fields. Total 11 key flux fields we have in Oracle Fusion Cloud applications. In all the modules, finance, HCM, every modules. In all the modules, we have total 11. Out of that, now we are talking about human capital management. Out of that, in the first module, global HR, which is people group key flux field, Before we start working with this key flux field, make sure that it's got a successful deployment status. Gather the requirement from the client. How many fields are required? For those fields, configure the value set, which is suitable as per the requirement. Now, client says that I wanted to provide some list of values to the user. When we say list of values, either independent value set we have to create. If they say values are coming from the database table, then table value set we have to create. So at this point of time, it is telling that let's display the static values. Okay. When we required static values, we have to go with the independent. So before we start working with the flux fields, if value sets are already there, then fine. Otherwise, we are supposed to create. Without value sets, we can't configure the segments. Let me create two key flux fields set value sets here. So I'm creating that here HP skill set. It's one of the value set which I'm going to provide. What is the module here? Global HR module. You can choose any model. It doesn't mean that we have created this value set in global HR and it cannot be used in finance or somewhere. But when we are working with the value sets, corresponding module, whatever you are using, that we will choose it. Okay, I'm selecting global HR and what type of value set you are working, independent. What type of values you are providing inside of this value set, character data type. Again, when we say character, are you providing list of English or translated text? Nothing but multi-language. Other than English also, you are trying to display. Now client says that only English. Go with the text. What is the maximum length? Let's say 44 characters. And minimum value, maximum value, uppercase. Zero fill is nothing but we said 44 characters allow value. Let's say I entered only 14 characters. Then what happened to remaining 30? It takes zeros precedency. It means like this it will take. And last it takes whatever we have passed. So total it will make sure that 44 is there. In case if you have a requirement like that, zero precedency, whatever the text we have entered, that it will take it. And we said for max 44 or 40, whatever, right? So the remaining it takes zeros precedency for the text. Okay. So now here we are going for creating this value set. Let's go for save it. And click this button, manage values button, to enter the values. Here we can find two fields. One is value, another one is description. This is nothing but our code and description. Codes and description. So here we will provide the code and here we will provide the description. Let's say ORA, nothing but our Oracle Cloud or whatever. And then we have SAP ERP Cloud. That's the actual description. And Microsoft Dynamics Cloud. Microsoft Dynamics Cloud. I'm specifying GCP, Google Cloud Provider. Google Cloud Provider. Like this, the codes has to be given by the client as well as the meaning also should be provided by the client. So I'm creating another value set here, HP country. Choose the module and then choose the validation type and choose the data type, whatever we are trying to display. I'm putting again 44 characters we required. We can specify any length, depends on your description or value what you are providing here. India, I'm specifying India, description, US, United States. So we configured two value sets here successfully. One is for skill segment, the other one is for country. Value sets are ready to use. Then we have to just go with the configuration of segments. Let's come back to our key flux fields page. Once our value sets are ready, let's go to key flux fields page and search for the key flux field, whatever we try to configure. Now go down. We are working with global HR. Global HR people group key flux field. Okay. This button, manage structures. search button, we can find how many structures are there. So why these structures are provided by Oracle is it's very simple. Maybe in India, client wanted to have some segments. For US, they wanted to have different segments. You can configure according to the requirement. For India, India structure. For US, US structure. India structure you can assign to India legal entity. US structure you can assign to US legal entity. So it's up to the client requirement. So what is the basic definition of structure? Structure is nothing but a group of segments which will combine the information. Structure is nothing but a group of segments which will combine the information. So I'm creating the new key flux field structure here to group my segments. I can have one segment or multiple segments. I'm going to provide here HP people group key flux field. People group key flux. The delimiter is nothing but separator, the value. For example, when we say you are using the flux fields here, 4 segments, I would like to have separator as hyphen symbol between this. Even this also. For every 8 characters or whatever it is, I wanted to have some delimiter for the information separation. So that we have to choose. Generally, it will be hyphen. Maybe we can have other character also. Okay. So this structure is enabled or disabled. In future, if we don't want this structure, we can go for disable it. Save. Without saving, we can't define the segments. Let's save the structure. Now we'll go for define segments. How many segments we require? 2 segments. Skill set. Another one is country. It's as simple as symbol. And segment code HP skill set. This is the name, description, display width we are going to have, and which column you wanted to store this, so and so column, and what is the default value set. Now we created value set, right? Let's use that value set. Use the value set. Don't enter API name. This is used by the system, and in fact, technical developers also can use this. API stands for Application Programming Interface. When they are working with REST or SOAP APIs and web services, they try to extract the information from the database and integrate with some legacy systems. Okay. Just enter the segment name, description, what is the sequence number, means where exactly you wanted to display in first place or second place, like short prompt and display. Range is basically when we have multiple segments. If you want to define the range between these 2 segments, let's say we have from and to, and generally from value should be always equal to 2 or less than that. That's actually the ascending and descending, right? When we have multiple segments, if we want to maintain the pair between those 2, and if you want to implement something called low and high, then it's going to be used range. So column name we are going to use, and this is the default value set which I am using. First segment we have completed successfully. Let's go for second segment. So the second one is we are going to have country, right? HP country. So this is our second sequence number. Enable or disable we can use. And I'm using this number of digits to display the field width. Second segment using, you can choose any column. This is internal database point of view we'll be using. This is the value set. This is country. That's the value set which we have. Save. And save and close. 2 segments we have configured successfully. 2 segments we have configured successfully here. This is our key flux field structure. Let's go for save and close and click done button. Structure is ready. Make sure that your cursor is on the key flux field row, and structure is ready. Define the structure instance. It is mandatory. Structure instance is nothing but alias name of your structure. Alias name of your structure. You can have either one instance or multiple instances. We can change the properties over here. This button. And if I want to know what are the different types of key flux fields we have. Click search button. System is showing that we do not have any instances so far for this particular key flux field. Now here I can find. People group key flux field instance. You can give any name and enter this. Enabled or disabled, dynamic combination creation allowed. It's very important checkbox. Dynamic combination means generally when we say this is our 4 segments, we can restrict the user, make sure that he has to enter only this combination. He should not enter whatever the value selection he want. So in that scenario, if there is any specific requirement that I don't want to restrict the user to particular combinations, let me give the access to him to change the values dynamically. It means in first segment, he can select Oracle. In second segment, he can select US. In first segment, he can select SAP. Again, he can select US. There are different combinations. So that is by default requirement is there. That's why it is enabled. And choose our structure. The moment when we choose the structure, I can find the segments here. I can't create a new segment here, but I can modify. I can change the value set or the properties of this particular value sets. This is the structure instance we have created successfully with 2 segments. And at this point of time, it looks like the structure and instance are same. No difference. At this point of time, we may feel that what is the use of this instance? Why it is required? But in the real time, when we are working with multiple countries, let's say client is implementing this product for 10 countries, and we define one structure for India. Now client says that same structure I want for remaining countries also. Value sets are different. Value sets are different. If you do not have this structure instance concept, then what we have to do, we have to define 10 structures. One is for India, one is for US, one is for UK, like that we have to define. But the instance concept is there. Now you don't need to create 10 times. Create the structure, create instances, change the value sets. Change the value sets, nothing but change the values. Okay. If you say for India 2 segments, for US 3 segments, for UK 4 segments, means different segments, obviously we have to define the structures. There is no option. There is no option. When client says that I want the same segments for another country or another legal entity, means another company. Okay. I have multiple companies. Another legal entity also, I want same segment, but values are different. Then no problem. You don't need to go for create another structure. You can create structure instances. That's the advantage. In the interviews, they will be asking us why the structure instance is required. The answer is very simple. When client wants to have the same structure for another legal entity with the different values, that time we don't need to create multiple structures. Whatever the structure we have, just we can create an instance and change the value sets, and we can go for configure it. That's the advantage of structure instance. Obviously, it's mandatory. Without structure instance, you cannot go to the deployment. So it's mandatory. Now we have deployed. System is checking whatever the segments and value sets we have configured successfully. Now it's done. We don't have any issues. Let's go down and verify that the key flux field is configured successfully or not. It's done deployment. Once your people group key flux field is ready, this we have to assign to the employees. 2 levels you can assign this people group key flux fields. If we come back to our enterprise structure, you can assign at enterprise level. If you assign at enterprise level, what happened? It is applicable for everybody, for all the employees who are working in the enterprise. Or you can assign at legal entity level. It is applicable only for that particular legal entity employees, not for other legal entity employees. So it's up to your requirement. You want to implement this particular people group key flux field structure for all the legal entities, or specific legal entities. We can assign this at 2 levels. Let me open those 2 tasks. We have already seen those 2 tasks in our training. The first one is manage enterprise information. We know already, very beginning, we have gone through this manage enterprise HCM information, where we can find enterprise name, and we will find a lot of important information about the enterprise. This is about enterprise. Workday information, enterprise information, worker number, person number. But 90% here setups related for human capital management, position synchronization, HCM flows and all. Right now, the requirement is for us attach our people group key flux field. Let's go for edit, and I'm trying to overwrite here. I can see that people group flux field structure. People group key flux field structure. This is what we have created, structure instance. Okay, HP people group key flux field structure instance we have defined. Okay. So now I'm assigning this structure instance at what level? Enterprise level. Then it is applicable to all the legal entities, all the legal entity employees who are working in this enterprise. Okay. In case if you have any specific requirement for your legal entity, then you can do it at a legal entity level also. Let me open the task. I did at enterprise level, setup, manage. Earlier it was enterprise, now it is legal entity. Just search for the task, manage legal entity, select the scope. For enterprise, we didn't get the scope. But when we try to work with the legal entity, we are getting the scope. When we try to work with the business unit, we are getting the scope. When we try to work with the ledger, we are getting the scope. When we try to work with LDZ, we are getting the scope. Because enterprise is only one. You don't find any other enterprise. You work for any client across the world, the enterprise will be only one. So there is no chance that, okay, select your enterprise, because there will be always only one enterprise. Straight away, it will open that enterprise and work with that. When you are working with the LDZ or ledger or legal entity or business units, definitely there might be chances that you have multiple options. Obviously, system will ask us which legal entity you want to work, which ledger you want to work, which LDZ you want to work, which business unit you want to work. Okay, so the scope option, it comes for this tasks because there is a option, there is a chance that you will have multiple values. Okay, so at this point of time, I want to work with first legal entity, which is US1 legal entity, or you can go with US2 also. Let me just go for US2 legal entity. This is US2 legal entity, legal employer is enabled. Go to the task, manage legal entity, HCM information. Are already in the scope of this. Directly open the task. Now I can find, this is our legal entity, legal employer details here. And here is people group, key flux field structure. We have null value. We have null value here. Okay. Null value means obviously a system will consider at enterprise level. Enterprise level, whatever value is there, that will be considered. Okay. Enterprise level also we can make it as null. It means there is no chance that you are using this feature, people group key flux field feature. If at all you would like to go for setup for this legal entity, I wanted to have another structure or same structure, you can choose. If you don't choose any structure here, what happened? Enterprise level, whatever is there, that is applicable. We already configured at enterprise level. Let me just go for hire an employee now and see that. So people group key flux field, 2 levels it will be assigned. One is at enterprise level, another one is at legal entity level. Okay, let me go for a hire employee. So we have done 2 setups now. One, we created people group key flux field structure. 2, we assigned the structure to enterprise. Now we are supposed to use that. We in the sense client. So our configuration is done successfully. Now we'll ask our client, you can start using this key flux field. Where do I find this? Where can I find this key flux field for usage? Only in one place, in global HR module. Another one is in payroll module also. It will be applicable in two places. One is while hiring employee in global HR module, you will find. And another one is in payroll module. When we are working with the elements, we will find. Now I'm hiring employee. Hire employee here. Here we can go for enable the flux fields, highlight flux field option so that it will display the flux fields information automatically in the page here. Which legal entity you want to work, US2, and employee details. And I can see that there is one descriptive flux field in this page. These are all our additional fields we got. This is social security number, and this is nation. Now we are selecting employee details here. Up down here. This is US2 business unit. Select the BU and choose corresponding jobs which are available here. Location, which location employee is working. Go down. There are some descriptive flux fields. Okay, here is our key flux. Here is our key flux field. There are some more descriptive flux field you may find here. Now this is people group key flux field, what we are talking and what we have configured. Click on this. We can find this symbol for key flux field. Click on this. Now I can see two segments are added. Skill set, country. In these two segments, whatever value set means list of values, right? So we provided these values. There's a code and there is a meaning. And what codes they want, and will give us, and what description also they want, they will provide. We have to just configure value set, and we need to set the number of segments. Yeah. Okay. So whenever we are working the implementation of human capital management, we'll be discussing with the client. While hiring employees, you will find a lot of fields. Capture the employee information. Do you want to have any requirement to capture more information like this? Then we can implement this people group key flux, right? That's how it will be specified. So now we implemented segments, we implemented value set, and we made it as a structure. It's working successfully. You can find, see, separator, delimiter is hyphen symbol. We select a hyphen symbol for data separation. And the remaining steps are common. It is hiring process. We'll go for complete. So key flux fields also is used to capture the information, but not like every page. As I said, For entire Fusion applications, there are 11 key flux fields. So in human capital management, there are only 2 key flux fields. Out of that, we have worked one. Total 11 key flux fields. Out of that, we have seen in one people group key flux field. Another one is for role cost. Key flux. In financials, we have general ledger, accounting key flux field, assets module we have. And inventory, we have inventory locator, key flux fields, and other modules we have. So these are main key flux field. Very important question in the interview point of view. Can you tell me some of the key flux field names? Even though we are finance consultant, we should be clear what key flux fields are there in human capital management. Even if we are working in human capital management, we must be clear what are key flux fields are there in finance also, in financials also. Okay. Now, if we search employee details here, send management. And W1 is the employee details. Where can here I can find, there I can find the details. Okay. So this is about the configuration of people group key flux fields. Now you can ask